Hello my friends, Hank here, and today we're going to be tackling a bit of a different subject from the usual here at Spruce & Brews Scale Modeling. We're going to paint up this lovely 1/35th scale Native American sharpshooter figure from Masterbox. Should make for a nice little challenge to test our skills with some brighter colors than we usually get to work with on our World War II figures. As always, step one is going to be to base our figure with a coat of black primer to give us a nice even layer to build up from. And as always, I'll have links down in the description below to all the products we use today, if you need to pick any up for yourself. Next, we're going to grab our Braun Violet, which you might recognize as a Luftwaffe camouflage color, and we're going to spray this on all the areas of exposed skin here on our figure. This seems a little odd at first, but believe it or not, this purple shade actually works really well as a base for our Native American flesh tone. And once that's on there, we can change gears and shift to our brush painting work. We're going to start by blocking out our figure's hair with some flat black. And while we have that black out, let's carefully pencil in some eyes for our fella here. We'll do our best to align his eye line with his carbine there. Alright, next we're going to grab our light rust wash, just like we've used in previous videos for our Caucasian skin tone figures, and we're going to glaze that all over our figure's exposed skin here. And right off the bat, you can start to see how the rust wash and that base layer of Braun Violet work together to make this beautiful rich sienna umber flesh tone. It can be intimidating sometimes to paint up figures of different ethnicities than yourself, but it's a very rewarding and important practice to add to your scale modeling toolbox. And more often than not, we're going to use many of the same products no matter what the subject is, just with some subtle variations to our base colors. Alright, looking much better already. Next, let's grab our flat black again and pencil in some eyebrows for our figure here. And while our rust wash is drying a bit, we're going to grab some flat flesh that's been watered down to make a nice glaze consistency, and we're going to slowly mix that in with our rust wash right on the figure in some of the areas where the body would receive highlights, i.e. the flat of his shoulder here, his upper arms, etc. This effect will be relatively subtle, and it'll add some dimensionality to our shirtless figure here, which can be tough to capture sometimes. Alright, with our skin work complete, let's grab some German camo beige and use that to block in his buckskin pants. And then let's take some beige brown and carefully pencil in the shoulder strap that's holding his bow sheath and quiver behind his back there. And while we're at it, we can use that same color to block in the quiver and the sheath itself. Alright, next let's load up our brush with a bit of camo medium brown and paint in the stock and the foregrip of our figure's weapon here. To my eye, this appears to be a post-Civil War converted 50-70 government Sharps carbine, but admittedly the molding here isn't fantastic, so it's tough to say, though this was a particularly popular rifle used by both sides during the Indian Wars of the 19th century. Off camera here, I also went ahead and painted in the metal components of our carbine in flat black. Okay, next up here, we can grab a little tan earth and paint up this war spear that our figure is using to crutch his rifle. He's in a very interesting rocking chair type seated shooting position. Not sure this would be my first choice, but power to him. Makes for an interesting figure in any case. And now I'm going to take some creme of ice and start drawing in these ornate piping elements on our figure's clothing, starting with his armband here on his right bicep. This piping also lines the sides of his buckskins and the straps around the quiver. I also went ahead and drew in the lining on his satchel here, as you can see. Alright, now we're going to get some real pops of color going. Let's grab some medium blue and fill in the upper surfaces of his moccasins and the main sections of his satchel. That already brings so much life to this piece. Looks really lovely already. And now we can go ahead and add some little stripes with that same blue color all along the white piping on his buckskins, his armband, and his quiver. No specific rhyme or reason to this. At this scale, I'm not sure that I could actually replicate any proper community-specific designs or artwork anyway, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. And next, we're going to grab some pure red and stack some little red stripes and dots in between all of those blue marks we just made. A simple but striking pattern for down here in 1/35th scale. Alright, now we're going to paint in this absolutely massive turkey feather with some creme of ice. Masterbox has never really nailed the scale proportionality thing, in my opinion. There's always something that's a little too damn big, and this would be it with this particular model. Next, let's grab that pure red again and color in this rope knot at the top of the spear, just below the head here. Nice little pop of color there as well. And then using our flat black, let's pepper in some black striping on our feather here to replicate a turkey tail feather. A little big for scale, but hey, we're going for the effect here. And while we've got our flat black out, let's block in our spearhead as well. Okay, now that our main painting work is done, let's hit our whole figure with a coat of gloss varnish to seal in our work and get us ready to move on to weathering. We'll keep the weathering simple today with a basic coating of enameled dark wash. We're going to brush this on nice and thick, and then as always, we're going to come back with the enamel thinner and remove our excess to help this flow into all the fine sculpted elements of our figure and create some nice natural contrast and shadow. And once our wash has dried completely and we're happy with our work, all that's left to do is hit the whole figure with a coat of matte varnish to seal in and protect our figure. And with that, my friends, we have ourselves a lovely Native American sharpshooter to add to our collection. I hope you all enjoyed this lesson, a little something out of our comfort zone, but some great practice on a unique piece here. So until next time, my friends, be well, happy building, cheers.